So just a few questions. We can hear a lot of different influences in your music, obviously folk, blues, soul, but is there a music genre that particularly moves and guides you?
I mean, I listen to so much music. I mean, a little bit of everything, but I think my favorite would probably have to be soul. I love soul
Okay.
music, and especially like Southern soul music stuff that came out of Memphis, in the late '60s, early '70s, or
Yes,
like Muscle Shoals, Alabama, stuff that came out of there. Just I really love that stuff.
great legacy from the place you came from, obviously.
Hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Did you have revelation like many other musicians by listening to an album or a song in particular? And if the answer is yes, what could be your references?
I think the band that really got me interested in songwriting or taking it seriously was this little band called Brown Bird. Uh, they're a husband and wife duo out of Rhode Island,
Okay.
and just they're an interesting blend of. I mean, I guess you'd call it folk, but it's so much more than that. There's Eastern European influences and just a lot of influences, and it's just their musicianship and their lyricism
Yeah, that's
was.
interesting. I never heard of him.
Yeah, you should check them out. They're just amazing, just an amazing band, great music, and
Okay.
really inspired me.
All right. And is your second project as intimate and personal as Last Entry, or do you mention more global topics in it? And in which conditions, with which perspective have you produced it?
Yeah, I think Last Century was it was kind of I wrote that in a really vulnerable place, and there's
Yes.
just a lot of stuff that I had to just kind of get off of my chest, more or
Yeah.
less. And I think with the second one, I wanted to get away from that a little bit and start. I looked inward on the first album, and I wanted to look a little more outward on the second one
Okay.
because I just
Yes.
wanted to explore some more things.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we could tell you've been through
Hmm.
rough times. Uh,
Hmm.
we can tell by listening to it. It's a very beautiful album.
Okay, yeah. So the last entry, it's a sad story, but it's based on the last entry of my dad's journal, and
Oh,
I think it was almost nearly 10 years before I was able to look through his journal. After he passed,
yeah.
it was based on a journal entry that he didn't finish. So I kind of I wrote it. I wrote what he might have said if he was able to finish it. So
Yeah. Okay. And do you already have ideas about your future projects despite that special current situation?
well, I already have the next album. It's written already, and it's about. I think I have like 5 songs already recorded.
Oh,
So
cool.
I've kind of used this time, this downtime to just really learn more about production and recording. And it's definitely taking a different direction. I don't have a band, but I'm learning how to play more instruments by myself, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to do more of a full sound and just try different things. I'm trying to take a soul direction. That's really what interests me, and I really want to try to do that more because I love folk and blues, but sometimes it's limiting. I don't want to be pigeonholed into one genre. I'd like to try different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be different. I really want to just make something of value, that makes people stop and think for a little bit, and maybe I've been so influenced by great artists, music that's really helped me through hard times, and if I could do that for just one person, then I think it would be a success. I knew I'm at a point now where I kind of need to start building a team around me because there's only so much I can do, And so I just started reaching out online. And luckily, the good thing about these times is there are a lot of resources for reaching out online, and that's kind of how I came in contact with you at Blackfish Records. And I'm just really happy and really excited about this, that we can, because it's going to feel more real to me to have a release on vinyl. I think something that I can hold in my hands, and that's real
Yeah.
exciting. I think one of my favorite songs on that album is The River, because it describes the emotional state I was in at that time. I think at that time I had that I wrote that, I was just newly sober, and just working on finding peace. So I wrote that song. There's a place, kind of a peaceful place at the river in Missouri, where I have a place still, and I would just go down there quite a bit when I was kind of healing from everything, and that's where that idea came to me to write that. And it just, I think it best represents the place that I was in when I wrote that album. So that's definitely one of the favorites. And of course, the title track, Agnostic Spiritual, is also a good one off that album. I think that summarizes it all too. It's just, I think there's a lot of questioning in that album. I had grown up or raised in the church, and I just had a lot of questions, and I think I was finally able to just let go of that and just kind of find my own way.
Okay.
There's no one way, sometimes, so many songs have come to me when I was at work, at my day job, and because it seems like that's when my head is the clearest, when I'm just working. So there's so many times where I would just like take a bathroom break and then just write on the notes on my phone or on the memo pad. And then I would kind of have them. So in those cases, the lyrics would come first. And then later on, when I got home, I would kind of work on the melody. But then there's other times where I would just come up with the melody on the guitar, and that would be, that would exist first, and then I put lyrics to it. Or sometimes something weird would happen, like I'd have a melody for one song and it wouldn't work for that, and then I would just put it aside, and then later on some different lyrics would work for that song. So it's kind of just, I don't know, there's no real organization. It's
Right,
just,
it's always random.
yes.
Paul McCartney he has composed Yesterday because he dreamed it. Did it happen to you already? To dream about a melody or some lyrics?
That has happened. I've had like little bits of lyrics come to me, or like a little melody, and I would wake up and try to remember that melody, and then I would hum it into my phone recorder. Just, little things like that. Or sometimes I would dream some weird scenario, and then I would write it down, and sometimes I'll, draw from that.
Yeah, dreams are amazing for that.
Yeah, it's strange. I like to write in a way that's not too specific, so that it can be left open to interpretation. I like to write in a way where you're not exactly sure what specific time or place it's in, or maybe a specific person. That way it's kind of open to interpretation. I don't like to be too literal.
And it's more spontaneous this way, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think there is a positive side to it. It's really neat how far live streaming has come, and the way people are connecting online. And I think maybe that might change the way people do touring. I haven't done a tour yet, but I've read a lot about people that have done it, where they just run themselves into the ground, and maybe that might change, where people are able to not tour so hard and be away from home so much. Maybe incorporate more live streaming into their concerts. So I think that's a positive thing. And then the way people are collaborating online, people can actually make albums from different places. That's pretty neat. So there's a lot of positive things. It's not all negative.
Mm.
That's a tough one. Just welcome aboard and join me on your cruises.
Strawberry moon, won't you climb above those trees? Strawberry moon, won't you shine your light on me? Turn the stones to marble, sand white as snow. Make the river sparkle like diamonds in your gentle glow.